Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. You're still watching Daybreak on Trust Television. All right, let's dive into our interactive session, which is the phone-in segment, and we'll be focusing to a matter of life and death, the fake drugs crisis in Nigeria. It's a menace that has quietly crept into our pharmacies, clinics, open markets, and sadly, into our homes. While many may see it as a distant issue, the reality is that fake, substandard, and counterfeit drugs are killing thousands of Nigerians every year, either directly or by rendering proper treatment ineffective. Now imagine losing a loved one due to a medication that promised to heal but instead harmed. This is the harsh reality many Nigerians face due to fake drugs. According to recent statistics, Nigeria loses an estimated 1.5 trillion naira annually to fake drugs, with the World Health Organization reporting that 50% of drugs in circulation are counterfeit. Now imagine that 50% of a whole, pharmaceutical, should I say, industry is fake. So the human cost is devastating as well. Fake drugs lead to increased morbidity and mortality rates, and many Nigerians fall victims to substandard medications. The socio-economic impact is also staggering, undermining public health, eroding trust in the healthcare system, and hindering economic growth. Now, we want to hear from you. Have you or someone you know been affected by fake drugs? What do you think can be done to prevent this crisis? Call us now and share your story. Let us discuss. Let us hear your thoughts. Let us hear from you. Make sure you call the numbers displayed on your screen or send us a WhatsApp message so that we can hear from you, because I absolutely know that a lot have an experience with, this issue of fake drugs. And Maimuna, it is quite devastating that someone would go seeking for medication to be healthy, and that would make him, get something else, which is really sad. We have our first caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Hauwa. This is Shetima calling from Nigeria. Good morning.
Good morning, Shetima. Thank you for calling in.
Yes, thank you for joining us. What are your thoughts on this issue?
Well, honestly speaking, this fight is for all of us, because we are the ones that fall victim of this fake drug. Honestly speaking, something needs to be done urgently. And I don't know why nowadays, we know during late Dora, when she was heading the NAFDAC, we see her on television screen and she's actor. But we don't know now who was heading the NAFDAC. If you ask people, they don't know him, because the office has become dormant. And NAFDAC now, they have become toothless bulldog. They cannot even bark, toothless or biting. So something should be done, honestly speaking, because the fake drug suppliers or producers and the sellers, they are killers. They are not supposed to be given any space to be continuing killing people. Because it's not a kind of wickedness. I don't know what kind of wickedness it is. You want to enrich yourself, then you are producing poison and selling to the people. This is absolutely wrong. And something needs to be done. The society and the security agents, we have to join heads together to fight this money. Because somebody was put in at the process of looking for his health, and you are telling him. So I think we have to join heads together and fight this money. Because customs have to be caught in. All these borders and the airport that this thing is supplying, they have to block. They have to be dedicated and making arrests, and they just have to take their test of money to secure the population of Nigeria. Because and I want to call for the society. Any pharmacy that you know that is selling fake drugs, you have to report him. You have to report him. Because by doing that, you are saving lives. And by saving lives, Almighty Allah will reward you. It's not the issue of revealing somebody's secret. It's not about secret. We are talking about life. This person is so wicked. He's killing people. You just have to put knowing him aside. Just reveal his secret. Honestly speaking, we just have to do something about it. Because I think also we just have to come with a law that will put somebody in life imprisonment whenever he was established that he engaged in that business. So we first and foremost we have to identify where these manufacturers are and who are the retailers. So that if we block that way, I think things will be solved. Thank you so much and have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Shatima. I wanted to ask Shatima if he has, experienced fake drug at any pharmacy or any hospital, or he has, any loved ones that have experienced purchasing fake drugs from any of this, either the pharmacy, the open market, or the hospital. Do you have? Hello, Shatima, are you still there?
I believe he's
okay,
gone.
I think we lost him.
And all right.
We have another caller.
We have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Morning, I'm Ene calling from Kano.
Thank you so much for calling us, Ene. What is your...
I know the system in the house is somehow echoing. We cannot hear what you guys are saying. Please, can you work on it?
All right. Thank you very much for your feedback. It seems that a lot of people are experiencing some technical difficulties when it comes to our broadcast, but it will hopefully be resolved as soon as possible. All right, on the topic of discussion, which is fake drugs and its proliferation in Nigeria and its effect on people. All right, we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Madam Hauwa, and the second person there.
Good morning, Maimuna. Good morning.
All right, thank you for calling us. What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Daniel, calling from Jalingo, Taraba State.
All right, thank you for calling us, Daniel. What is your take on this issue?
So, straight to the point, we have problem on ground. And as Elliot said, this thing is causing harm. So, I'm going straight to the solution. I've said this, we have discussed this online some months back, I think early January or something like that. I've said death sentence is the panacea for this action. That is one. Anybody caught on that thing, on fake drugs, is death sentence. There should not be sympathy or pity. Him to let him feel how other people are feeling. I'm talking because I have experience. My father is a victim of that thing. We lost him because of things like that. That is one. Two, NAFDAC, SON, that's the Standard Organization of Nigeria, Pharmaceutical Council, probably there's other agency. They should liaise with, let me suggest, the primary healthcare center staff, so that they should train them secretly to help them identify such drugs, because those drugs go to the rural areas. People who take most of these drugs are in the rural areas, not much in the city, because some of us in the town, yes, we can use, I have one vitamin C here. I didn't use it because from mere looking, it's fake. I didn't use it. So they should liaise with the primary healthcare centers workers so that they can help them doing those work secretly for them. Because if they say they will do it. Like last time, the pharmaceutical company come to Nigeria and come to Taraba for inspection. Most of the shops were closed. I think it should be last 2 weeks, something like that. They closed the whole local government. You can't even buy drugs again to buy because they know that just as you said, 50% of the drugs are fake. So everybody is afraid of what is going to happen. So I urge standard organizations to train people secretly to work on that. NAFDAC should train people secretly to work on that. The same thing to Pharmaceutical Society Council. I think that will go a long way to reduce it if they cannot even find solution for it. That is my take.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution. It was really sad to hear that his father was a victim of, fake drugs. But then at the end of the day, he made a couple of points that what are the regulatory agencies doing in making sure that these drugs do not reach patients and, harm them further as well.
Okay, we have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Abasenko calling from Gombe State.
Good morning, Abasenko. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I want to appreciate the two of you. Lovely people, Hauwa and Maimuna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very sweet people presenting this topic this month. So, sincerely speaking, before I go on commenting on the issue of fake drugs, Maimuna, Bagudu, you did say that Nigerian, we have a lot of policemen on ground. I want to debunk that statement that we are having shortage of police on ground. And that is why covering Nigeria has become problem. Security has become problem. So let me go straight back to the part on ground. Take drug crisis. Are you conscious of it? Yes, I'm very, very conscious. I want to buy drug. I'll go to about 3 places to make sure I get a correct one. But the fact remains that it is only headache that I normally get. For the past 30 years, I've never been to hospital, and I'm about 3 years of age, and I'm thanking God for that. I've never been to hospital. The only time I go to hospital is when I visit hospital to visit the patients there. So, the fact remains that our governments are not doing the best. I do vividly remember there was a lady by name Dora Akinwumi, a very vibrant, very pragmatic. She has been sidelined. The federal government needs to give that woman an award because even in her death, she fought to kill and make sure lives were not lost. If not, most of our rulers today, they would have died because she stood still and make sure drugs in circulation that time were apprehended. I remember containers of drugs from, I don't want to mention those countries. She took them from the airport. Yes. And this was a woman, because of that issue, she was killed. Why are we not remembering our past leaders? Like names of names that they are giving to, I don't want to mention them. They would have said, okay, so woman, this is a contribution to Nigeria. This infrastructure, they will give her that name. But instead of that, there are people that have not done anything to this country, they are giving them names. So, the menace that is on ground now is a problem. So we need to be practical. And how do we need to be practical? It's by ensuring that the good things we are seeing, we need to put them on ground. I also want to add that when you are hungry, you go about to get yourself sustained. How do you sustain yourself? When there is no job, when there is no work, epileptic electricity things are of hazard, you find those people indulging in crime. And until we start putting our hands together, things will not work out well. I also want to add this again, that 85.5% of Nigerians are in abject poverty, while our leaders and rulers drive in SUVs, limousine cars, Rolls Royce. It is a shocking development. And in fact, it beats my imagination when I see that those money they use in buying SUVs can help in sustaining life. I'm telling you, and life will be changed. Now, we are hearing that federal government wants to tackle energy poverty with what? With Mission 300 initiatives. They are just deceiving us. They just want to keep the remaining money on ground and borrow more and eat. May God help us, though. God will continue to bless us to you and bless the entirety of the workers with justice. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Obasanjo, for your contribution.
You know, how we're talking about existing legal penalties when, you know, an individual is being caught in selling fake drugs. You would realize that it is not even, you know, enough to make people stop. Because I know that under the Counterfeit and Fake Drugs and Unwholesome Processed Foods Act 2024, it states that first-time offenders, when being caught, you know, they are meant to pay 500,000 naira or face imprisonment for 5 to 15 years both. And then also we have, you know, corporate bodies and their executives can also be convicted under the same terms. Right. Okay, I think we have a caller. Ade is on the line. Hello, good morning, Ade. Thank you so much for calling.
Maimuna and Hauwa. Good morning.
Good morning, Ade. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
All right.
Everyone should be conscious of fake drug crisis. Not only fake drugs, even fake food are plenty in Nigeria. Fake food, you know, that they will use something, mix up, use chemical to ripe banana or something, causing cancers of many people. Most especially these things are affected by poor people. You see, one thing I observe in my country is this. There are no consequences for anything that you do. No consequences at all. Okay. If they have jailed some people and they announce that somebody is selling fake drugs this person, they arrest the owner and will be in jail for 5 years. That will send fear to others. This morning, they were telling us on our news here that the Brazilian coach was jailed in Spain for 1 year because he didn't pay tax. That happened in Nigeria. So because you can't bribe anybody. So when you arrest people like that, there are no consequences. For anything you do wrong in Nigeria, there are no consequences. Only poor people that will arrest 12 midnight or say it's one thing. And the man will spend 10 years, 20 years in prison. All
right, Ade, have you ever had an experience with fake drugs or fake foods?
It's not possible for me to have a experience because if I go to Nigeria, I'm not going to buy food locally. So if my people, I have some of my people do experiences when they complain to me, but me personally no. And let me tell you this: every time I'm coming to Nigeria, I come with 10 kilos of my favorite rice. You understand? Which is called brown rice. So I come with my oil, which is olive oil, in my suitcase. So that's what I will take till I will come back to London. So I'm very careful about my health. So, but not everybody can afford that. So that's why I'm saying that this thing affects common people, poor people. So that they are the ones that are affected by this thing. So, but we say there is no consequence for any crime committed. That is just giving them to everybody do whatever they like. You know, we are seeing on TV this morning, and the inspector beating his wife. They are showing us this morning. You can imagine a law enforcement, if you can be beating his wife like that, and they recorded the story, how much, you can imagine such a police officer, what do we do to somebody who committed crime outside? You just take money and they go away. So when they report discipline, They are put a lot of blessed memory and so disciplined. So that's why the woman was popular. In fact, now, I blame Minister of Health because now that is Minister of Health. Minister of Health. So that man will oversee everything and make sure this is working properly because common people are dying. You can't see any big man who dies medicine in Nigeria. It's not possible. The one is special pharmacy where the patronize and they pay their distance. I buy Panadol. When I'm coming to Nigeria, Panadol, I bring it with me to Nigeria. I saw a cup of my Panadol one day in Lagos in one of the shops. Very, very expensive. I was shocked. I got money Panadol. And I asked the person, why is it expensive? Because it's special, they bring it for me. And I agree because I have it. So how many people will afford that? So discipline is what is missing. Consequential for any crime committed. Once you are not disciplined, you do more to commit the crime. That's what I have said. So God will continue to protect everybody. God bless Nigeria. God bless us. Good morning.
Thank you so much, Adi.
Right.
So, Hauwa, I'll still want to highlight, the existing legal penalties. It is stated that under the Counterfeit and Fake Drugs and Unwholesome Processed Foods Act 2024, first-time offenders face either a fine up to 500,000 naira, imprisonment for 5 to 15 years, or both. And also, the NAFTA Director General, Professor Adiyeye, he highlighted that individuals who involve in, drugs like tramadols when they are being caught.
All right.
Okay,
let us take our caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Hauwa. Good morning, Maimuna.
Yes, thank you for calling us back.
I was interested of the question that Maimuna want to ask. So all of a sudden I dropped the phone when she's trying to ask the question.
Yes.
Okay, so I wanted to find out from you, Shatima, if you have experienced, fake drugs, or if you have any relative of yours or family members who have, experienced purchasing a fake drug from either the pharmacy, the hospital, or, any other stores.
Honestly speaking, Maimuna, I didn't have that experience because, honestly speaking, I have my elder brother who acts as my mentor in the person of Aminu Salukuya Kudima. Aminu Salukuya Kudima has trained me to a certain level that whenever I was sick, I have to go to proper pharmacy. I have to go to doctor. When doctor gives me prescription, I have to go to standard pharmacy and buy the drug. And thank God, as I grow, when I get married, I marry a husband who she also makes sure that she buy a genuine drug for us, the family. And when we buy the drugs, we take it to the pharmacy, qualified pharmacy to assess before we take it. And I was advising Nigeria to adopt that. If you buy drugs, if you are ignorant of the drugs, take it to your pharmacy. Let your pharmacy look at the drugs, examine it. If it is genuine, then you take it. If not, our people, they are so wicked. What they are after is money. And this money, you can only use it here and just keep it. And by you take life, some people life because money. That thing is hanging on your neck. And in hereafter you will suffer because Almighty Allah will not forgive you for taking somebody who is just innocent, and you collect his money and you give him poison and he dies. So I think our people, they have to adopt. When you buy drugs, you take it to your pharmacy. Your pharmacy examine. If it is genuine, then you just go ahead and take it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shatima,
All right, thank
for
you,
calling
Shatima.
back.
And it's a very good thing to be very vigilant, but then some people do not have that luxury to be very vigilant because at the end of the day, there are different stages when it comes to selling, drugs or medication. You can buy it at a pharmacy, and there are some hawkers as well that do sell that, which is very dangerous. And usually you would see that those drugs that they do sell are fake, and you would gets a medication, it will not be effective. But then the biggest question is, what are the regulatory agencies doing? And a lot of the callers have been speaking about the past DG of NAFDAC, that she was very vigilant, she was on business. And what is happening now? Why aren't those things that are needed to be put in place? But then let's take our caller. Hello, good morning, thank you for joining us.
Good morning, it's Daniel back again from Jalingo.
All right, thank you for joining us. What is your take on this issue?
Yes, I want to add more.
Okay, go ahead.
These figures of the thing, I'm a medical sociologist by profession.
Okay.
I socialize medically with people. When you go to rural areas, these hawkers, those people that hawk drugs, in fact, what they are doing is very, 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 very dangerous. You will see that somebody will come with a different complaint. She will be administering a different drug, telling you that this one will. You see, these are issues that government need to step on proactively. You go to rural areas, you see people are doing apprenticeship in chemists. It's not proper. You only go and do apprenticeship on all these, what do you call it, in mechanic and the rest. When it comes to life issues like that, you don't put somebody in the chemist and be training him to administer. Even you that you are training that person, you are not even qualified. So you see them carrying this thing up and down. Somebody will be complaining a different thing just because he wants to make his money. He will tell you that try this and see you work, try this and I've been seeing these things. So those hawkers, please, government should see how they will make them. It's not about matter of putting police on the way to disturbing all these Okada guys. And the police and plenty people should go to chemists and be disturbing the chemists to remove all those things inside. So thank you for now.
All right, thank you very much for your take on that. When you look at it, we would have to understand that it is only for a doctor to diagnose what is bothering someone, an illness, and for a pharmacist to, take care of that prescription and provide you with that medication with a valid prescription. And we can understand that there are medications that do not need prescriptions for you to purchase. But then at the end of the day, you have to look at those vendors that are providing those medication to the public. So those are the ones that need to be vetted and looked at. Why is someone, why can someone be able to, access medication, go and buy medication in bulk and hawk it on the street?
I mean, who does that?
With someone that has no knowledge of the medical profession, of medication, of drugs, of pharmacy, and its composition and components as well. All right, we have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Thank you very much. My name is Shaku.
All right, thank you for calling us.
I will not identify my profession, but I'm calling from Benue State.
All right, thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I grew up somewhere in the far north. I'm in Benue State right now. I grew up somewhere in the far north. I'm brother to Chetima. The Chetima that's a regular caller is there. That was one of my friends when we were growing up. He didn't go to school. He passed through the Almajiri. And suddenly one day I saw him selling drugs in the market. So I asked him, why are you selling drugs? What do you know about drugs? He said, no job. That's why he's selling drugs. Now, he is not the only one in Nigeria today. There are many. There was a time I traveled because my NHS is not in Benue State. My NIH is somewhere. I will not mention the place. So I went there, I was prescribed some drugs. That this one, I cannot get it through my NHS. I have to go to pharmacy and purchase it. So I went there and purchased the drugs. Coming home, I started taking the drugs. Suddenly, one of my daughters came in. She's learned. So she came and saw what I was taking. She said, Daddy, let me see these drugs. On starting the drugs, she brought in. In fact, there and then she discovered that drugs is not good, Daddy. You can't take these drugs. Now, even in the pharmacy, in fact, I went to one of the best pharmacy and I bought that drugs. It is my daughter that saved me. Because me, I was not conscious. I assumed that with such a pharmacy, I can never take drugs in such a pharmacy. That's why I go there. But I become a victim. My daughter saved me. I have to turn back the drugs. And I asked them, because of my probation, if they did not change the drugs, they will face the consequences. Now, how many people have bought drugs from that place and nobody helped them? How many people? How many people have bought drugs from my friend Kashim when we are growing up? People like Kashim that were selling drugs, and they are not actually a good state hawking drugs in the market, and nobody is arresting them. India is fighting after those boys that are taking drugs. But what of those ones that are selling it? What of those ones that are selling it in the market? Just enter any market, any local corner in Nigeria today, you will see them. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right,
No,
thank
that's
you
a
so
very
much
good,
for that contribution.
yeah.
You know, he actually reminded me of something.
Okay.
A couple of months ago, my grandma was sick. We took her to the doctor, and he's a neurologist, and he was writing some medication for her. And he was like, I would write an alternative for that particular medication because the one I wanted to initially write has a lot of counterfeit of it. There's a lot of fake of that particular drug. And then he would tell you which pharmacy to go to get, original drugs, which is a sad note because at the end of the day, you would look at it that it's from bringing in those medication, what regulations are in place in making sure that those medications are vetted and they are not fake drugs before they reach, the patient, the consumer. And it's sad, as he said earlier, he bought his medication from a good pharmacy. Exactly. So how are you sure that the next medication you're getting is
not
original or
original,
not?
Yeah.
And it's quite
Hello, good
sad.
morning. Thank you so much for calling. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is calling back.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Abasekon, for calling back. All right, go ahead.
Sincerely speaking, I'm not trying to attack the character of anybody. But when you see something, say something. That is why we are having problem in this country. Wherever you know that there are fake medical practitioners, fake doctors, people selling drugs on the street. I don't leave them. The nearest police station I report. If we are doing that, we will see that there will be a change in this country.
Hello.
All right,
Okay, we lost him. Okay,
yeah.
he was saying something about, when you see something, you say something. But then, the regulation bodies that have been, set aside to monitor, substandard drugs out there and fake drugs are not even doing, the much they can do. So, the question comes to mind, is it that, NAFDAC lacks proper funding? Is it that they are understaffed? Is it that, the judicial system is not, really looking at this particular menace because it's a huge problem.
Absolutely.
I was, trying to, list out, some of the existing legal penalties on ground when, an individual is being caught when he or she, involved in, selling of fake drugs. And I'll just quickly run this through before we get another call. So under the Counterfeit and Fake Drugs and Unwholesome Processed Food Act 2024, first-time offenders face either a fine up to 500,000 naira, imprisonment, or 5 to 15 years, or both. Is it enough? Or, the corporate bodies and their executives can also be convicted under the same term. And if anyone is being caught, involving in tramadol, would face 5 years in prison or 250,000 naira penalty. Come on. We have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning. From my sister Ape. I'm calling from Benue State.
Thank you so much
for joining us.
Please kindly share your thoughts on the topic at hand.
I saw that you're talking about fake drugs today, and it's a very good thing. It's something that we could call a pandemic as far as our country, our nation is concerned now. But the basic thing, I think what the problem really is that we don't allow the experts. Experts in this case are the pharmacists to really be in charge of drug distribution
Okay.
and how it goes about and drug consumption and all of that. I think if we allow the experts are on oath, the pharmacists, they are on oath. They wouldn't handle drugs anyhow. They wouldn't allow it to get to unauthorized users. And then if we back them up with the law, thank God for the recent pharmacy law that have been passed. It does a lot of good, but enforcement is an issue. The Pharmacy Council needs to be funded more to regulate more, coupled with NAFDAC so that it can be sanitized. But the baseline is that experts should be left to do the job of experts. And on no basis should we have any makeshift or stopgap arrangement for those who are not qualified to handle it because we don't have enough pharmacists or not. What we should be doing is to encourage more of the professionals, the pharmacists, to be trained, and if possible, the government can come in so that we have more pharmacists, and the more we have more pharmacists, the better for our nation, because they will regulate drug distribution, drug consumption, side effects, and all that has to do with drugs, because they are the true experts there. So as a nation, we should learn how to allow the experts to do their job. And in terms of drug, it's the pharmacists. But unfortunately, it's such a huge money-making
Market.
enterprise. So everybody wants to get involved in it. But if you want to get involved, you see that there's so much prospect in it. Go and become a pharmacist so that you can be under oath, so that you can do the job properly. So that when you do it wrongly, we can hold you because you are on oath. Not that you are one quack somewhere, open one something somewhere, and you are poisoning our people. So I think the bottom line, like I said earlier, let the pharmacists do their job, and we will have a well-regulated drug distribution system that will improve our healthcare relatively well. Thank you.
All right, if you don't mind, pharmacists, we understand that most pharmacies, when they come into operation, there has to be, certification and other things that surround it. But then how is it that possible that you get fake drugs in certified pharmacies as well?
There are so many things about fake drugs. One that is deliberately adulterated it doesn't meet the standard right from its production. That's one. Secondly, drugs that are imported parallel, they didn't go through, they don't have NAFDAC certification, though in their nation of production, they may be acceptable there, they are regulated there, but as far as Nigeria is concerned, it doesn't have NAFDAC certification, so it is fake, even though it meets all the international standards. So that's another aspect of fake drug. So there are different ways to tackle the fake drug that is deliberate adulteration, either that comes from outside. The ones that come from outside, when you keep the pharmacist, you enable NAFDAC, you equip them with the facilities that can test, that can carry out tests, quality assurance tests at the border. At the point of entry, the one that is deliberately adulterated, that one can be detected there. So that every drug that comes in should be checked, should be tested by the pharmacist. That's how to check the influx of fake drugs from outside Nigeria, for those deliberately adulterated. Now, for the ones inside, like I said, if you equip the pharmacist, you equip regulation, NAFDAC and Pharmacy Council of Nigeria working hand in hand. If you equip them very well, they can go from place to place. In the first place, we are not supposed to have what we call drug market. I think the council and NAFDAC, they are working towards eliminating that or standardizing it. But for now that we have that, they could go there randomly, pick samples, do their test. There's a concept promoted by the World Health called the mini lab. They can have all the equipment to test the average drugs that we consume. Right there, they can spot whether it is fake or it is genuine. And when they spot it, the person is prosecuted. And I know Nigerians, once we are prosecuted, once people began to be prosecuted properly and they see that, people will leave it off. Our problem is when laws are not enforced, then people take it for granted that it could be fake. So the ones that are deliberately adulterated in the nation, production is below quality and all of that, we can check. You go to the factories and ensure they follow quality assurance. And then we'll have the fake drugs. We will have it reduced. Because drug is something we can easily, fake drug menace is what we can easily tackle. Because the amount spent on the drug to fake it is going to be very, very close to the reproduction. So it's actually something difficult very easy to tackle if we are serious about it. So these are the two.
So, okay, pharmacist, please, before we let you go, we know, there are informations about, how to verify fake drugs, which, of course, check out for NAFDAC number and expiry date as well. Is there any other thing we should look out for apart from, drugs not having NAFDAC numbers and also expiry dates as well?
Yes, what you can look out for, the first thing, like I said, the real pharmacist will not want to sell fake and adulterated drugs. There's something we call aesthetics. Okay. We call it organolepsis. There is that training you acquire. When you look at something and it's not genuine, there's a way you are trained to know. Because like I said, take for instance, you have Augmentin is a brand. If you see the fake one, they will not go to the extent of making the pack as beautiful as the genuine one. So if you look at it carefully, you can find that. You can see that. Like I said, the ordinary person on the street, because they are running away from price, from cost and all of that, may not be able to take their time to detect. And that is why we go back to that issue of let the experts, the real expert, the pharmacist, handle drug distribution. And you see all these menace will fizzle out of the system. So there's a way you can check, look at it, and you can know. Sometimes you see cheap spelling errors. Sometimes you see certain pharmacopoeia that are not we are going to be technical, but a lot of times if you look at it very well, you see a lot of things that are not correct. But it takes the eye of an expert. If somebody really want to go into the sophistry or sophistication of faking drugs, sometimes if you are not an expert, it will be difficult to deduce it. So the best thing, go to a very reliable pharmacy, a registered pharmacy, buy your drug, and the chances of picking a fake drug here will be next to zero. That's just the truth.
All right. Thank you so much, pharmacist. You really contributed a lot with your call. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. We are still on the topic that is really dire, fake drugs in Nigeria. Make sure you continue to call us and send us WhatsApp messages. And I believe we have a WhatsApp message. This one is from Mubarak Isa Abubakar from Jos. He says, good morning. The proliferation of counterfeit drugs on our streets is alarming and exceeds most people's expectations. The problem is vast, driven by profit motives and weak oversight, and is even more severe in rural areas. A long time ago, a man visited my office printing press and asked if I could erase and extend the expiry dates on some drug packages. When I questioned his motives, he responded, "It's none of your business as long as I'm paying you." I asked him to wait, but he fled. This incident highlights the need for caution when purchasing medications. People should not only rely solely on expiry dates for verification. That is indeed quite a scary story.
A very scary story, honestly. So you can imagine that person is not even, bothered about, how many lives will be lost by that particular drugs.
He's just bothered about the profit that he's going to make.
Okay, we have another caller on the line before we take in WhatsApp messages. Good morning. Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, thank you for joining us. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, my name is Freedom. I'm calling from Gombe.
All right, thank you for calling, Freedom. What is your take on this issue? Do you have any experience with fake drugs?
Yes. Thank you very much. Your program is nice and educative.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Well, the options I want to give is there are things that the government are not really looking into.
Okay.
One of it is if you go to most government hospitals, like state government hospitals, you notice most of the staffs, or will I say practitioners that attend to patients are mostly student doctors or nurses. Or those that just attended any health colleges or so. So it's also very wrong. You notice that most of them, they don't really have in-depth knowledge on drugs.
Okay,
I believe we're having an epileptic
The
connectivity.
rate at which they prescribe drugs to patients too.
Okay, I think his network is a bit...
Yes, please, Freedom,
please
do well to call us back so that we can hear your contribution properly. All right, Maimuna, is there another WhatsApp message?
Okay, yes, we have a WhatsApp message from Aboki Asai. He said, yes, I am conscious of fake drugs and always do checks for confirmation either by scanning barcodes where provide and sending text messages, but I'm still skeptical because people faking these things can go extra mile, and which is true.
That is absolutely true. All right.
Okay, we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is Adamu. I'm calling for Port Harcourt.
All right, thank you for joining us. What is your take on this? Have you had any experience with fake drugs?
No, not at all, but I want to chip in something.
All right, go ahead.
I think what I feel this involves life. And as we're talking now, many people have already died on taking drugs. Can't federal government initiate the source of a drug coming to our country? Where it's coming from? Particular country or particular drug house come to Nigeria, and also establish the work they're doing here, the country are doing it, and when it's supplied, because some of these small trainees or chemists, they go and buy drugs. That means they buy fake. And when they are caught, they are in trouble. When the man who sold the dog is free. So eventually, if the government establish a source of drugs coming from abroad to this country, out from India, for where it's coming from, we put you responsible if it's fake or not. And what they do in Nigeria here, we know the place is coming from. The manufacturers will know who they are and when they supply it. So we know and they sell them. And also all these small chemist people, when you go to buy drugs, when receipts, the headlines of where you buy it from. So if anything happens, it can fall back to where you buy it from. So can they take off bets to avoid this debt happening for the drugs in this country. God bless you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution. As he made note, we should make sure that we are vigilant when it comes to buying medication, making sure that in our power that we verify that it is not fake drugs. And for, the authority that are responsible in making sure that these things are, gone through before it reaches the patient, before it reaches the customer. I hope that they will be more vigilant as well and put stipulations and regulations as well in analyzing all the drugs that come into the country and trickle down to patients. All right, that is all we have for this segment, for the phone-in segment. Thank you for all your contributions and for all your remarks and comments as well. It is very important. Make sure you stick with us for the next segment, which we would, where we'll be reviewing our national dailies. We are going to look at the headlines or the stories that made it to the front pages of our national dailies. Make sure you stay with us and don't go away.